Hi, it's Sally here again, and we're just going to talk a little bit now about positioning your baby at the breast and getting good attachment. So I'm just showing you this diagram first. It's the basic anatomy of the breast. The reason I'm showing you this is so that when we talk about positioning your baby at the breast in a moment, you'll know all the terms I'm using, and it just helps it to make more sense. So you can see there you've got the nipple with the skin around the nipple, the areola, and then the little ducts going back away from the nipple into the alveoli, which is where the milk is made and stored. So for breastfeeding to be comfortable and babies to transfer milk effectively, babies need to be attached to the breast correctly. In order for them to attach to the breast correctly, they must be in the right position. You know, if they're too high or too low or nowhere near the nipple, it's going to be impossible for them to get that good attachment that they need to breastfeed effectively. So thinking about your own mouth, first of all, the front of your mouth has got a lot of hard structures, the roof of your mouth, the gums. We want the nipple to be further back beyond these at the back of your mouth against the roof. When you tongue along the roof of your mouth towards the back, and you should be able to feel that the roof of the mouth eventually becomes soft, we want the nipple to be right back in this area. You can see there on figure A, that's where we want that nipple to be. Figure B, you can see that nipple's in that front part of that mouth, and that's going to be rubbed on those hard structures, and it's actually going to be quite uncomfortable. And we can just see here that this baby is coming to the breast, and they're actually approaching quite a long way below the nipple. So what I'm trying to sort of show you from this slide is that attachment is not symmetrical with the same amount of skin above and below the nipple, with the nipple as the bullseye. It's actually quite asymmetrical, with more of the skin and breast tissue below the nipple, with the mouth just closing over the top, again positioning that nipple against the roof of the mouth towards the back. So we can use a simple checklist that can be remembered using the acronym CHINS to ensure that that positioning is right for your baby to get that good attachment. So the first one, the C, stands for close. So your baby needs to be really, I hope you can see me, your baby needs to be really close to the breast. You can see even that arm being there is making a big difference on how close your baby is to the breast. So get their arms as if they're giving you a hug. No blankets or anything in between, so they're really close. The H stands for head free. So in order to get as much breast tissue in the mouth as possible, your baby needs to get the head back really wide. If you try and open your mouth as wide as you can, your head naturally goes back. If you push your head forward and try and open your mouth, you can't do it because you haven't got that clearance of your jaw. So support your baby's head, perhaps using a thumb and a finger with your hand going in a V shape round the back of your neck, but don't restrict your baby's head. So whatever position you use, in the cross cradle there with the opposite arm to the breast that you're feeding from, you're not restricting baby's head. The same in the rugby position. If you're using the cradle hold, supporting your baby with the same arm that you're feeding from, you just make sure again that your baby's head is nice and free so they can get that head back and get that nice big mouthful of breast tissue. The I stands for inline, so you're basically making sure that your baby's ear, shoulder and hip are all in a nice straight line aligned with each other. What we don't want is baby on their back having to turn their head in to feed, because again they're not going to get that big mouthful of the breast tissue, and also trying to swallow with your head on your shoulder is quite uncomfortable. So yeah, just make sure they're nice and turned in, all in a nice straight line. And the last one is nose to nipple. So as we said on the last slide, your baby's going to come to the breast from below the nipple. So we want really, I hope you can see this, nipple aligned. We've all got that little groove, haven't we, below our nose, so, and above our top lip. So your nipples, you're starting with the nipple there, not pointing into baby's mouth, pointing against their nose. They'll do quite a lot of rooting there. Hopefully then, as long as the head's free, head will come back, mouth will drop open, and they'll come in and their mouth will close over the top of that nipple. If you're thinking that your baby's looking like their nose is squashed into the breast, bring them down in the direction of their feet a bit to really sort of make sure that they're coming nose to nipple. And that S on the end just stands for sustainable. So whatever breastfeeding position you're using, you're going to be sat there a lot in the first few days. You might be sat there for long periods of time. So make sure it's sustainable. That's what the S stands for. Have lots of cushions around you. Cushions and pillows are your best friends. You can get your baby on and then get someone, or do it yourself if you can, wedge those cushions in so you're feeling really well supported in that position that you're using. And what this slide here is just showing it all going into place. So you can see there that baby's coming to the breast with chin all in place that we just spoke about. And then because their mouths, their head's free, they're opening their mouth nice and wide there, and attaching well to the breast. And then as you can see, their chin's tucked in and their nose is free of the breast, so you know that they've got that lovely asymmetric attachment that we just spoke about. And then at the end of the feed, we'd expect them to release the breast and they're calm and content following the feed.